The Discourse on Truth. Once, while the Blessed One, Gautama Buddha, was residing in the great monastery at Jetavana near Swati, a remarkable discourse unfolded, one that illuminated the hearts of all present. A group of wealthy merchants from the city, disciples of various sophists, sought truth in a world of confusion and attachment. One day, they heard of the Blessed One's wisdom and decided to approach him, hoping to gain clarity on life's ultimate truths. Surely, they said among themselves, if anyone can guide us, it must be the Enlightened One. The journey to Jetavana. Upon reaching Jetavana, they found the Buddha seated under the shade of a grand Bodhi tree. His serene presence radiated peace, and his eyes reflected boundless compassion. The merchants bowed respectfully and seated themselves before him. One among them, a man named Sushil, spoke on behalf of the group. Blessed One, we have wandered far and wide in search of truth. Yet, our hearts remain restless. We beseech you to guide us. What is truth, and how might we live by it? The Buddha's response. The Buddha replied, truth is not hidden, yet it remains unseen by those clouded by ignorance and attachment. Truth is like the moon reflected in still water. To see it clearly, one must calm the ripples of craving and aversion. He then shared a parable, the parable of the blind man and the elephant. Once, the Buddha began, there was a king who invited several blind men to examine an elephant. Each man touched a part of the elephant and described it based on his perception. One, feeling the leg, said, the elephant is like a pillar. Another, touching the tail, said, no, it is like a rope. Yet another, feeling the trunk, declared, it is like a tree branch. Each clung to his version of truth, leading to arguments and confusion. In the same way, people grasp at partial truths based on limited understanding. True wisdom arises when one sees a whole, free from bias and delusion. The merchant's reflection. The merchants were deeply moved. Sushil asked, Blessed One, how can we overcome ignorance and see the whole truth? The Buddha replied, to see clearly, one must cultivate the Noble Eightfold Path: right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. This path leads to the cessation of suffering and the realization of ultimate truth, the Noble Eightfold Path. The Buddha explained each element of the path in detail, emphasizing mindfulness and compassion. Begin by observing your own mind, he said. Notice how craving and aversion arise, and let them pass like clouds in the sky. Cultivate compassion for all beings. For in understanding others, you begin to understand yourself. The merchant's transformation. Over the following days, the merchants stayed at Jetavana, listening to the Buddha's teachings and practicing meditation. They began to see the impermanence of their wealth and attachments, understanding that true happiness lay in letting go. When the time came to depart, they bowed before the Buddha, their hearts filled with gratitude. Blessed One, Sushil said, you have shown us the way to truth. We vow to walk the path and share your teachings with others. The Buddha's blessing. The Buddha smiled and said, may your journey be guided by wisdom and compassion. Remember, the path to truth is within you. The merchants returned to their city, transformed. They lived by the Noble Eightfold Path, spreading the Buddha's teachings and inspiring others to seek the truth, a legacy of truth. And so, the discourse on truth delivered at Jetavana continued to echo through the ages, lighting the path for countless seekers.